The grand opening of the newly transformed Central Library takes place on Sunday. The new, bigger library has more books, computers, and areas to read than the old facility. But for one Indianapolis man, that old library downtown will always be important. That's because it changed his life. Inside the glass and steel of the downtown Central Library, thousands of titles waiting for readers. And soon this library will offer a book written by a man who said his life changed the day he walked up these steps.
I walked and I walked and I walked.
Joe Cooper lived on the streets.
I put so many miles on these feet.
He was homeless, living under a cardboard box.
And this is where I got started at, from this little area right here, laying with boxes.
Penniless, Joe ate food out of a dumpster.
We would go from here and eat out of dumpsters and stuff like that to find food and stuff wherever we could find food.
Joe lived out here on the streets. He was unable to find work because he lacked one thing. Joe couldn't read.
The book didn't mean nothing to me because I couldn't read it, didn't understand it.
We think about, third world countries have illiteracy problems, not Indiana.
The executive director of Indy Reads estimates that 20% of the adult population in Marion County would have trouble reading a newspaper.
If you're below a 6th grade level as an adult, you are considered to be functionally illiterate.
That was Joe's life. Words didn't make sense. Frustrated that he couldn't find a job, Joe prayed.
He says, God, if there's anything that can come out of my life, then you're going to have to do it.
Joe began walking and didn't stop until he found one building.
And that was when I walked in the library and asked someone if they could teach me how to read.
Suzanne Smith became Joe's tutor.
He could not read above the kindergarten level.
H-A-V-E.
Twice a week, Sue would meet Joe at the library.
I-N-D.
Sue taught Joe how to spell, write, and read.
Big rabbit.
Joe was 39 years old when he read that first book. The man who learned how to read at the library?
Yes, I'm surrounded by books.
Now works there.
All kinds of books.
Joe also prints the material for the library branches. Joe's now reading at an 8th grade level. Remarkable progress for a man who spent most of his life only knowing how to spell his first name.
Now he's got self-respect, he's got recognition. He realizes he was not stupid the way everybody was telling him all the time.
Reading allowed Joe to go from homeless to homeowner.
These two here are really treasured because
it's where he proudly displays awards for his tireless pursuit of reading.
It's a 3rd grade diploma.
Joe calls this the first piece of positive reinforcement he ever received in life.
That 3rd grade diploma opened up a lot of doors for me because it changed my whole attitude. It changed my whole way of looking at life.
Joe doesn't mind walking back to where it all began. It allows him to retrace the steps he's taken on the journey.
Somebody always told me that as long as you take baby steps and keep taking steps, eventually you'll get there. Just don't give up.
Joe shares that encouragement with a man who's walking the same road he once traveled.
This is where my life started,
right?
And this is where I'm leaving it.
How much farther can you get from finding yourself beside a dumpster at 12 years ago, and now he owns his own home, he has his own car, he has a driver's license, he's married.
And now, his story fills the pages of a new book.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This party celebrated the launch of a book featuring Joe's story. Soon that book will come full circle. The book born in the library will be stocked there.
It's all because that I wanted to make something out of my life. I wanted to be able to be a person that can have a job, a car, home, all these different things that I never would have happened if I hadn't made that step and walked into that library. I don't know where I would be today.
The National Assessment of Adult Literacy estimates more than 100,000 adults living here in Marion County are functionally illiterate. Those people cannot address an envelope, read a prescription, order from a menu, check their children's homework, or fill out a job application. Indy Reads is the organization that helped Joe learn to read. We have a link to Indy Reads on our website this afternoon. And if you'd like to buy Joe's book, it's called Daydreamer to Dreamcatcher. The phone number's on your screen at 685-0028.